defeated former president has made no secret of his attack on our democracy. He said he wants to be a dictator on day one, and so much more. He tells supporters he is their revenge and retribution. When in God's name have you heard of another president say something like that? And he promised a bloodbath when he loses again. We have to take this seriously.
They're not going to stop, and this is a movement, I'm telling you. They're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that they're not going to let up, and they should not, and we should not.
If reelected, he will be a dictator on day one. And I will, quote, terminate the United States Constitution. Let us be very clear. Someone who suggests we should, quote, terminate our Constitution should never again have the chance to stand behind a microphone and never again have the chance to stand behind the seal of the President of the United States of America.
And it's damaging. And so I think he's genuinely a threat to our core values. And he's a threat to our standing in the world.
Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world. I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life? It's the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president.
Let the record show, I totally agree with Robert De Niro. I am one of those people that suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. I think he is a threat to democracy.
Really?
I think that he led an attempted coup in this country. You know, he said he wanted to suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. At the least, that's just not a patriotic thing to say.
I don't believe that.
He absolutely said that on
I will
Truth
look
Social.
that up.
He did.
He wanted to suspend the Constitution?
He said we should suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. He said it on Truth Social, then said he didn't say it. So listen, I read Project 25. I'm one of those guys that's like, I don't know if he will necessarily leave. I hope he does.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Move to the spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here, move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good?
Shooters down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
We're clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move. Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
Got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. Come on, get the shoe.
Watch out.
Wait.
If these pictures are what they appear to be, if that is a shooter deceased on top of that building 150 metres away from the rally venue. If that is the shooter who discharged the bullets that led to the incident inside that rally venue, there will be questions asked about where the Secret Service security perimeter ended, if this building was outside that Secret Service perimeter, and if it was outside, why was it outside? Just to reflect again that press statement from the United States Secret Service, they say that at approximately 6:15 p.m, a suspected shooter fired multiple shots toward the stage from an elevated position outside of the rally venue. US Secret Service personnel neutralised the shooter, who is now deceased. US Secret Service quickly responded with protective measures, and the former president is safe and being evaluated.
Yes, look, we've got a fresh angle now of what actually transpired in those frantic seconds that there was that assassination attempt on Donald Trump. We have pictures of a reverse angle here that shows Donald Trump actually speaking at the podium, and then we see one of those Secret Service detail guards on a rooftop firing back towards that gunfire. Have a look.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Wow. Now, we're also just learning that the Associated Press is reporting that an AR-style rifle has now also been found at this scene. We understand it was found outside, again, the perimeter of this event today. But those pictures there, quite shocking. It shows the seconds in which the Secret Service detail who were there, and there was a huge detail, they follow a former president around, and they are stationed on those rooftops around. They have responded in seconds, guys. They're quite a remarkable angle to what has transpired.
David, let's stay in this moment, though, because we're going to bring up a still image on the screen, which we've sourced from an AP photographer. Now, what's circled in red might explain what Donald Trump said in his statement about he heard whizzing. Now, that's a bullet, as best as we can make out, that's travelling to the right of screen past Donald Trump's right-hand side. We know from what he said, his first-hand account was he heard a whizzing sound, then he felt a bullet striking him at the top of the right of his ear. Now, look, we're sourcing this from an AP photographer. We'll take that as gospel at this stage, but that would be an extraordinary image, if accurate, of one of those bullets that would appear to have missed Donald Trump, or perhaps might be the one that struck him and carried on.
That is going to be photo of the century, if indeed it is a real photo at the moment. We must preface all of this by saying that the internet right now is flooded with false information, and we are trying to get those images and that information from the best sources that we can right now. But that has been attributed to a photographer at the New York Times, an incredible picture. It does appear to show that bullet. And what is quite remarkable about this is Donald Trump is now saying that that bullet has gone on to pierce his ear on the right-hand side of his face, or the right-hand part of his ear. How it has then avoided his skull is another question entirely. The logistics of that seem quite incredible at this stage, that Donald Trump has walked away from this unscathed. But that picture itself, I mean, that paints 1,000 words. The terror of that moment, that bullet whizzing towards a man who was the former president of the United States, and of course a man who wants to be again.
USA! USA!